you guys know Kate. She's awesome. She's from Minnesota, right? Minnesota, right? And she dances. She's an awesome dancer.
We'll unmute it for you.
But she's a director with Scentsy. How long have you been with us?
7 years.
7 years. Woo! All right, so please welcome to the stage Kate Lundquist.
I'm so excited to be here. I'm really excited. This is only my second time back to Winnipeg. And I know they said I've been in Scentsy for 7 years, but I like to tell people I've kind of only been trying at it for maybe 5. Some of you might be in that situation where you joined and then you kind of wandered around aimlessly for a little while. That's what I did. So yes, I'm Kate. I'm from Minnesota. I'm happy to be here. When they talked to me about speaking, a home office employee messaged me and said, all right, go ahead, send in your outline, whatever you're going to talk about. Here's what we want you to touch on. You think about what you want to say and then send it to me. So I sent it to her, and have you heard of a feedback sandwich where there's like positive and then like, ooh, you need to work on this, and then positive?
Yes.
Yes. So her feedback to me was, her constructive criticism was like, I read what you have, and that's only like, according to word count, about 5 minutes of speaking. And I laughed out loud, up on myself, because I was like, oh, she doesn't know me. I was like, you're gonna be lucky if I even get half of the content in 30 minutes, because I'm one of those weirdos that I am far more comfortable in front of an audience like this than I am even like having a cup of coffee with somebody across from a table. Like, this is happiness to me. And but you asked me to go sit, I like to talk to people, but I'm so much, I like this. I don't know what it is about it. But yeah, hopefully you all had a good lunch. We found a really great taco place around the corner. My daughter gave me these jeans. I found them in my laundry pile, and I have a 13-year-old, almost 14, and I was like, Addison, your jeans are in here. And I just bought these for her, and she's like, Mom, I don't like them. They're a little big. You can have them. So here are the jeans, and I really like them because I ate a ton at lunch, and you can't tell there's no muffin top. I was like, they're like, when did high-waist jeans come in style? Because this is awesome. This is great. It's just like a round loaf now. It's not like, nothing's really spilling out. It's just like smooth. And so, although the mom butt thing is real, so that's why I'm wearing a long thing. It's still saucer-like back there, but I don't know. When I'm almost 40, I'm 38, and when I was a kid, mom jeans were not cool. I lived when you hung them down real low. Who's with me? Do you guys remember that? Yeah, so that's where I am. Anyways, yes, I'm a director, and I think if I put myself back, especially more than 5 years ago, that the sound of hearing that somebody's a director or that they've been on incentive trips, that was totally foreign and so far off to me in my eyes. I was like, that is not that. You guys, I didn't even that was not even a possibility. So when I say this is my second time back in Winnipeg, my first time was maybe 4 years ago. I remember seeing Shannon there. I'm pretty sure, right?
Yep.
And who else did I meet? A girl named Ashley. And
she's in Hawaii.
She's in Hawaii now. But I was coming in as a consultant like many of you, because I've talked to some of you and I've seen some of you respond that this is maybe your first year in Scentsy or your first Scentsy event. So that was me not very long ago, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. And we drove up the 2 hours, my husband and me. You guys, I did not have one. Well, oh no, because this was when I was not having any idea what I was doing. It was a good handful of years ago, maybe 5. So I did not know what I was doing, and my husband and I came up and we did not have any Scentsy friends. I'm serious, we knew nobody. Is there anybody in here who feels like they have no Scentsy friends yet? I mean, hopefully you have your sponsor or something you guys, I can't, if I told you how many people within the Scentsy community I know now, it's crazy. But back then, it was not that long ago, and I felt like such a stranger, and I didn't know what I was getting into. And so my husband and I walked into whatever hotel it was, and I saw a group of girls sitting on the floor, and I was like, are you with Scentsy? And they were like, yeah. And they were talking about home office. I was like, home office is here! I was like, oh, that's so exciting. I was just like so geeked out. And they started talking, and I just was like trying to listen because my business was nothing like it looks like today. My business was like, signed up for this, raised a little extra money. I was going through, we were gonna adopt, so I needed a little extra income. I just quit my teaching job. And I was like, well, people know I sell Scentsy. If they want anything, they know where they can come. That was my attitude. And people were like, oh, great cause, I'll buy from you. And then, hey, well, is anybody else gonna come? Like, you know, so it's kind of month to month, kind of tried sometimes, didn't try a lot of times. So then, once it started to kind of build up, that's when, or get a little bit more of my interest. Something's clicking, I bet that's really annoying. They're so cute, but I'm not married to them. It's not worth annoying you guys. So, anyways, aren't they cute? We can talk more about that later too. I'm just talking about my earrings. You guys don't let me forget that, okay? There's an earring story. So I walked in the world tour in Winnipeg, and I just couldn't believe the Scentsy culture. I don't know where the beach balls went, but that year there was beach balls flying around, and my husband and I were like, what is this? So anyways, I've told that story before. I feel like, I mean, not that you guys have all heard it, but that was my first, I was like a childlike wonder, like, what is this Scentsy place? And it was there that I learned about things like follow up. Oh, I should be calling my customers? What? It was weird. She was like, you guys take 10 minutes right now, or go look at your last 10 customers and call them. And I was like, oh, wow, all right. And then there were people talking about going on trips, and I was like, how do you do that? Like, that was not. Guess who's going to Europe in a couple weeks? Yeah, so, and I'm not bragging, because you guys, I came from it wasn't that long ago where I had $0 paychecks from Scentsy. So I just want you guys to all know, before I really dive into the stuff I'm supposed to be talking about, that anything is possible. And it doesn't matter if you love being on stage like me, or feel shy, or if you are a mother, or if you are working full-time doing something else. There's a path for you in this business, and it doesn't have to look like mine. Nobody else's business in here looks like mine. Nobody. And there's 140-some thousand consultants, I think. We all have a unique situation. For me, I'm the mother of 6 kids, 14 and under, all the way down to 18 months old. Yeah. And I was like, you know, climbing obstacles. I was like, okay, I'll tell them about like one of my obstacles. And I was like, which one should I talk about? Do I talk about when I lost a pregnancy, or traveling overseas for our adoption every few months, or even completing an international adoption? Do I talk about having 5 little kids at home and trying to run a business? Do I talk about living in a tiny town in the middle of nowhere? Can anybody relate to that? Okay. How do I get customers? How do I build a team when I live in the middle of nowhere? How about surprise pregnancy? For me, we were done. We were done, And then, things get going, and life gets going, and all of a sudden you're like, wait, what? So meet your best. That's my 18-month-old. My next oldest is 8. So that was a huge hill for us to climb, and we were so excited eventually. But my Scentsy baby. So she traveled the world with me, thanks to Scentsy. Do I talk about the massive postpartum depression I got after she was born? I did not anticipate. Some of you in here shared about that you deal with depression and anxiety. That is a real part of my life now. I know I can come up on stage and be like, but at the same time, and at home, sometimes I don't want to take a shower because I just want to be in bed all day. Or, whatever, sometimes I shake from anxiety. We all have our things. Or maybe it was because once I finally crawled out of postpartum depression, a year ago, after going to World Tour in Minneapolis, I remember that was a medicine for me. And I went home and I went, oh, I feel a little more like myself again. That was postpartum depression, and that was probably one of the scariest times of my life. Even scarier, I would say, than getting a cancer diagnosis 10 months ago? No, not even. How long ago was May 2019?
10 months ago.
Was it 10 months ago? Okay. I'm like, I could do the math, you know. All right. So, yes, 10 months ago, I got the phone call that I had breast cancer. Like, what the? What? I'm 37. I have no family history of breast cancer. What do you mean I have breast cancer? I'm still supposed to run a business? You guys, holy smokes. So I don't want to tell you that it was easy to keep my business going or still get 2,000 or more PRV every month of 2019. I had to get creative and work around my circumstances. This presentation is supposed to be about your Scentsy life, and it's supposed to follow certain things, and I promise I will try to really get to that. But thanks to my Scentsy life, I still had a paycheck through 16 rounds of chemo and getting breast surgery and raising 6 kids in the middle of nowhere. All right? I want to say if I can do it, you can too. And it was not easy. But it's possible, and it can be fun and exhilarating. I can tell you that getting a breast cancer diagnosis, your whole world bottoms out. I think we all think we know how we would react. And that was my big battle. We all have our big battles, so I don't want to think that this is some people divorce or we all have our things that happen to us in our life. So like Orville said, or one of them said, it's just a matter of when and what it is. We're all going to face battles. So for me, getting a diagnosis was extremely scary. I didn't know if we had caught it at the beginning or if I just had weeks to live. I did not know. Do you know what that feels like? It feels really crazy, really sucky. And when you're scheduling all these appointments and trying to wrap your head around it, the last thing you really care about is whether Nancy has her Luna bars. You're like, I don't know if I'm going to survive. I don't know who's going to take care of my baby if I pass away. So I always think of the superstar director, Sarah Speechley. I believe it's Sarah Speech. I can't remember, but you should find her on Facebook, maybe give her a follow. She spoke at an event I was at once, and I'll never forget, because she was in a wheelchair. She had pregnancies that left her on bed rest the entire time, and she still was able to climb to the top ranks of the company, which is like the top 1%, despite her circumstances. She still operates with limited mobility and from a wheelchair most of the time. So Sarah Speechley, write her down. I'm telling you, I was very hungry for people to watch once I got the bug to actually work this business, and I didn't know who to watch, so I'm telling you who to watch. Sarah's one of them. She said, Scentsy is flexible around your circumstances. And that has been a running thing in my head. So anytime I feel like I'm having a bad day, or I don't know what to do, or I'm frustrated, or whatever, okay, Scentsy is flexible around my circumstances. So last summer was my battle with cancer. And not only did I have those mountains to climb, I also had to move my family 5 hours from home so that I could get treatment. Okay? Living in my parents' house. And still run a business somehow, and still get treated for cancer, and deal with the side effects of chemo. So, I did not know how I was going to make my PRV. But I did know that I had a computer, I had Wi-Fi, and I had the desire, the belief, that I could still do this. So follow up. I could still follow up with my customers using that Amy app. I could still post on my Facebook page, product pictures. I could still share my Scentsy life. What else? When I was walking to the cancer center in Duluth, Minnesota, we had to walk through the pediatric unit where kids would go for their treatment. Now that is a sobering event, especially if what I was going through, I could not imagine any child, or my own, or any child having to do what I had to do. And it made me cry. It solicited a major emotional response from me. And if any of you are friends with me on Facebook, there's not usually anything that gets any kind of response from me without me sharing. I love to share. So like I said, I'm more comfortable on a stage or on social media platforms than I am like in one-on-one personal relationships. So I turned on my camera and I showed the pediatric unit. I just thought, that, okay, the world needs to see that there's places for kids who have cancer here. And I went, geez, I have no idea. The medicine I was on, they call the red devil. And those of you familiar with cancer might know that one. I did not know how I was going to still do my business, but I went, I could do a buddy drive. So for the kids in this cancer center. That was my circumstance, and I got to work Scentsy around my life. And people, that was like their way to help me. I felt like that was my take. I didn't care if Nancy had her Luna bars, but I cared if those kids had a comfort thing. You know, like I mean, it just, no offense to Nancy, but my heart was in cancer and survival mode. And if I could connect with those kids, and that filled me up. So then, buddy drive, and like you said, you can find anything on YouTube. The Scentsy community, if you're not plugged into it yet, you'll know we share. We rise together by lifting each other up. If I go to a Scentsy Facebook group and say, I want to do a buddy drive, I guarantee there will be 5 consultants who are like, oh, this is how I did mine. Here's the forms that I used. Here's the advertising that I used. Trista's nodding her head because she knows. She's in the Scentsy community heavily. And her superstar director has kind of adopted me, so I get to be in your groups. I love it. So anyways, we raised, I think we had maybe 120 buddies to donate to that cancer center. And the best thing, you guys, was a couple weeks later going to my treatments and seeing kids walking out with their buddies. My mom said, oh, look at that kid, they've got buddies. And I was like, oh. I mean, that makes you feel alive. And the other thing, they were also giving to kids whose moms were going through. So I saw kids walking around whose mom was getting treated for cancer as well. So very special and memorable. So a crappy situation got to turn into a situation that I got to work. So, and of course I shared. So that's the whole point of this, is like, how do you draw people into your business? No, you need to share your Scentsy life. How many of you have taken a picture or a selfie or a product picture or video while you've been here? I hope every single one of you has. If you have social media, you're taking pictures, please. And it doesn't matter, like, it's best if you're in the pictures, and it's best if you share. Now don't, like an example, I'm kind of getting ahead of myself, but if you click a picture of a warmer, don't just share the warmer. Share how that makes you feel, or like, I love this warmer because maybe it reminds you of something, or maybe it just, maybe you have a perfect spot for it in your home. I can't wait to get this one and put it in my living room because it'll match my pillows, and whatever. But like, share what Scentsy means to you. Because you guys remember when I was talking to you about how I had $0 paychecks, I didn't break people's orders down. I'd be like, oh, okay, it's the end of the month, I should get an order, and I think Cheryl wanted a 6-pack, and Nancy wanted Luna, whatever. And I would like go by memory. I was not following up, nothing. So, anyways, once I kicked it into gear, once I got over the embarrassment of, I have a 4-year college degree. This is for like little ladies, right? Like people who don't, you guys, this is an amazing opportunity for anybody, no matter who you are and what your story is. For me, I had to get over the stigma of direct sales and what that meant. It means what you make it. And the reality is, it's an amazing opportunity. So I started to get a little less shy about it. And when I did that, my business really started to grow. And not only did it grow, it kind of exploded. I started, it's kind of by accident. I had a couple really great shows that I did around the holidays. I had a couple good parties, started doing some follow-ups, a little bit. And all of a sudden I noticed I was really close to earning the bottom tier level of an incentive trip, and that was to Disney. Okay, so I was like, again, like me, like little Kate in Roseau, Minnesota, population 2,600, nearest McDonald's an hour away. I could earn an incentive. Maybe I'll start trying at this business a little bit. Okay, you guys, when you start going into offense mode with your business instead of for me, I was playing defense all the time. Okay, if somebody comes to me, I'll serve them. Okay, if somebody approaches me, sure, I'll do a party. Okay, now I was like, okay, what does it look like to put myself forward? Hey, you love Scentsy so much, like, would you ever want to get it for free or half off? Or maybe I'll have an extra open house. Maybe I'll offer one of my star consultants on my team. I met her through that season when I was close to earning Disney. I had reached out to somebody going through an adoption, which is why I joined, and said, how would I do a fundraiser for you so that you can help with your plane tickets or whatever, your fees? And then through that, I met a customer who ended up joining my team eventually and is one of my top consultants. Okay, so again, I started trying. And then I started sharing on 5 minutes. Are you serious? Oh my gosh. I can't wait to tell Lori how much. Okay, so anyways, I ended up earning that trip because I started sharing my Scentsy life. I will get to the point. I started saying, like, oh my gosh, I just had so much fun at this party. Or like, when I put this scent in my warmer, it reminds me of when I was a kid. And people started noticing and paying attention. When you share your business, people will take notice. When you go to a restaurant and you like what you've had, do you share about it? That steak was amazing. What was the restaurant we went to at lunch? Do you know what it was called, Maria? La Carnita? So good! It was like so good, spicy, but it was good. And like, for me, I experienced something really great. I want to share that with you. Like, I would love it if you all went and tried it for supper, for dinner. But that was how I started getting with Scentsy. When I started getting over my fears of what people would think of me and sharing Scentsy with people, either in person, social media, whatever, my business exploded. So then they sent me on a vacation and I was like, okay, what is this? They sent me to Disney World with my husband. I have 5 little kids and I just gotta escape for free. And they gave me presents and they made me feel valuable and loved and appreciated. I'm gonna work for them. Then I went in full offense mode and I've been to Africa, I've been to Switzerland. I got to take my dad to Switzerland. I get to go to a cruise through the Netherlands next month with Trista. So, I mean, it's changed my life. I've been able to stay at home. I've been able to participate in, contribute to my family, yet be at home for my kids every day after school, while battling cancer and recovering from a double mastectomy. All right, so what I'm going to encourage you today, before I go, let me look at my notes that I was supposed to talk about. Share what you love. Share when you go home. Share what this day meant to you. Be authentically you. Don't try to be somebody else. People say to me, Kate, I can't be a consultant because I'm not like you. I'm telling you, nobody like me, thank goodness. You gotta be like you and operate your business how you did. When I got pregnant with a baby, I was like, crap. I have young kids. I can't go do parties. Do you know what I do now? I do whiff boxes. Have you heard of that? Yeah. That is the backbone to my business in this crazy season of my life because I have to. I can't go out and do parties. I shouldn't say I can't because I could, but I don't want to, and that's awesome. I'll do it every once in a while. And you know what else I do? I do fundraisers, and I do customer follow-up orders. I take care of my people, and that keeps me in business. So, and I share my stuff on Facebook and Instagram. And between that all, I'm growing a team. Do you know what? Most of my team, some of you guys are gonna think I'll never have a team because I thought that for a long time. If you think that, it's not gonna happen. I didn't have a team for a long time, and now I have 135 something on my team. Okay? Yeah. I didn't have a team for years, and now I do. And it's great, and it's family, and it's wonderful. And most of the people that I have personally personally recruited were customers of mine. I can't wait to get rid of customers. I hope that they become consultants. Because I'll say, and this is what I'm supposed to teach you to do, and this is what I would tell you to do anyways. When you have, do you have customers that love Scentsy? Have you ever said to them, have you ever thought about having a party? Oh, look at all these rewards you have. You could earn a kit with that. You could get it for free. You love Scentsy so much, why don't you just do this with me? We could do shows together. I'll help you. Just like me teaching that dance, I'll help you. We'll do this together. It's really important. And just remember, you guys, Scentsy is flexible around your circumstances. I know we all have battles, and I just want you to believe. I want you to have belief in Scentsy because it is a great company. One of my biggest inspirations is Nick Sherba, or no, Peretta now. Do you guys follow her? Yeah. She's Canadian, don't you know? And she's great, and she's one of the first people I met when I knew nobody, and she saw me on a bus at Disney World and said, Scentsy's like my mom! Do you guys know her? Is that not a good example? Yeah, Scentsy's my mom. Nobody talks bad about Scentsy. If they talk bad about Scentsy, it's like talking about my mom. And then she also taught me, again, I had a team of 5, I think, at that time, and I knew nobody. I was like, where am I? She said, Scentsy, she taught me that her team is her family. She's like, they are my family. When people join my team, they just feel like they belong, and we love them. And when people come on our page, we just welcome them, and they're our friends, and we just love them. And she's doing pretty good. She's a superstar director and rocking her business because she loves her people. You need to love your people, whatever that looks like for you. You need to love your customers and serve them big, and share how Scentsy makes you feel. Can you do that? How does Scentsy make you feel? I'm gonna really quick, the earring story. This is a perfect example to end with. I'm so sorry, but it's good. Okay, so when I had cute hair, guys. I was shoulder length, strawberry blonde hair. I was doing pretty good. And then I found out I was gonna get cancer. I was like, I'm gonna lose my hair. I would really beg the doctors to can you just do the surgery and do radiation and no chemo, because whatever. Okay, fine. I'm gonna be bald, I'm gonna rock it. But if I'm gonna be bald, and especially if they're gonna take my eyelashes and eyebrows too, it's really sad about losing my eyelashes. I need some cute earrings. So I went on Instagram, and there's a company, I don't wanna get in trouble for cross promotion, but there's a company that I know has really amazing earrings with a really great cause, and they're in direct sales. So I hashtagged this company, and I looked at consultant after consultant. Nope. And then I saw a blonde girl with a baby on her hip who had just had her 3rd child, and she was super excited about her product. And she was very open about I'm back in the game, so excited about what was coming, and I can't wait to do parties. Boom. I was like, I'm gonna get cute earrings because I'm gonna be bald, but I'll have cute earrings. I reached out to her. I'm in northern Minnesota, she was in California. So what do you think my community of friends did when I said, hey guys, I'm gonna be bald, but I want cute earrings. If you would like to join my party for this company, would you like to be a part of it? My friends stepped up. You guys, I have a closet of earrings now. Think about this girl in California that I've never met, who all of a sudden has a girl, just because she posted one thing on Instagram with a hashtag. I reached out to her from miles away and had a party. Not only did we have a party with her, she booked parties off my party. And my team, again, they were just my friends who came to support. They're all big fans of this jewelry now. We're all wearing this jewelry. She's doing party after party. Her company was like, what? Where did you come from? Because she shared openly about her love of her company, and she shared that she was excited to work her business. So out of all the Instagram posts, I picked her because I could relate to her, and she loved what she does. Do your people know that you love what you're doing? I can promise you when you show them that, your business will change. Thank you.